People just need to go back to the ancient crafts. We should teach people to do whittling at school, or knitting. Even if people pretend that they're okay with it, jealousy can eat people alive. I never had any ideas of this industry being a sparkly gift of a job where you go in and become a star. I know the fact I've worked continuously since drama school means I fit a stereotype, the ingenue. Women who are clever actresses have longevity because they're amazing actors, not because the camera loves them. I love the way Tina Fey and Amy Poehler made the first ever feminist Golden Globes. I like Shakespeare, but it's not my bread and butter. It's not what fires me up about acting at all. A lot of the ingenue parts leave a lot to be desired, in my opinion. I like to do the whole gamut of emotions on stage, big crying, shouting, hair pulling. Something about the way I look screams, aristocrat, 1940s. It's so strange, because I'm not. I had horrendous teeth. I had 10 years of orthodontist treatment, everything you can think of. I get told I have a period face quite often. Maybe it's the pale skin, but I get a lot of pre-40s posh roles. I'd be happy just to do theater work, but it can't pay the bills. I remember my parents were always around, and that was glorious, but as an adult and as an actor I look back now and see, no, they were at home for long stints because they were unemployed. I'd really like to make my own work. 2020 has been crap. Because we have more women in power now, frankly we are less likely to go to war. It's not in our nature really. I have been very lucky, because I have quite an innocent face and a lot of people are looking for a character who is tough and yet soft and slightly girly. That's why they call me up. The period characters I have played have all been these wonderfully forward-thinking women. I don't like water generally. It's incredibly frustrating to constantly read scripts where you're the girlfriend who is there to further the man's storyline. My parents had multiple jobs. You have to be able to hold up a mirror to your personality at drama school and recognize the flaws. That's hard to do as a 17-year-old, but it's easier to cope with when you're a little bit older. My dad's an amazing carpenter and he does painting and decorating. I'd love to play a villain. I always end up playing people that are quite goody two-shoes. I would love to play someone who is a little bit evil. I think that would be really fun. I mean, I'd love to see The Woman in Black in the 90s on the rave scene. The energy that you expend making yourself look frightened and feeling frightened is just as hard as crying and shouting and all the other extremities of emotion. I haven't seen a lot of horror because I'm ridiculously sensitive and I get scared really easily. A corset is always challenging. My first play was A Month in the Country at the Chichester Festival Theatre. My first filming job was one of the first episodes of Black Mirror, before anyone knew what that was going to be. It was this mad project with some great people behind it, and now it's Black Mirror. It was sort of baptism by fire. My first scene ever on camera was a dinner scene and I ate all the food. They yelled cut and the actor across from me was like, "You know you're going to have to eat the same thing every single time." I learned the hard way. I would love to see an adaptation of Less by Andrew Sean Greer. It has all the things I want in a film: love, travel, humor. I don't tend to reread things, but never say never. Sight by Jesse Greengrass was put up on Instagram by an acquaintance, so no one actually recommended it to me personally, and yet it had a profound effect on me. The book deals with the conflicting emotions brought to the surface when you are deep in the throes of your childbearing years. I was obsessed with The Swish of the Curtain by Pamela Brown when I was a child. It's about a group of kids who create their own amateur theater company. I was already absolute in my decision to be an actor by this point, but if anything, it confirmed to me that I was on the right path. I admire anyone who takes risks, especially in a creative sense, and who doesn't play it safe. Those are the people who keep things moving forward. I definitely don't think I could be in an open relationship. I'm incredibly lazy. On a day off, I'm more likely to be sitting on our sofa reading a book than out and about being active. I sometimes do a bit of yoga, but I find it hard to get motivated for any kind of physical exercise. I read somewhere that it's scientifically proven that kids who read Harry Potter grow up to be more well-balanced and tolerant when they're older. Christopher Walken would make a bedtime story pretty interesting, I reckon. When you are the lead, you feel that if you mess it up the whole film can fall around you. I went to see The Babadook at the cinema. Even as I was walking there, I was thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Before I would never have seen something that had a poster proclaiming it was shockingly scary or, you won't sleep at night. But I paid money and really enjoyed it. I wouldn't want to take a job that I got tied into for 6 years, that just doesn't interest me. Why is it so unusual to see someone who's not a size 8 on screen? I think most women are sitting on all this rage we've never been allowed to express. It's an emotion that I think that people find quite unattractive in women, which is why you don't see it very often. I have quite a dry sense of humor. It comes out when I'm feeling nervous. There are centuries worth of conditioning telling us that the thing that gives women status or importance is beauty. My parents are actors as well, so I grew up around that world. It was always a very romantic, mythical world. They did a lot of theater, so to me an actor was getting to come backstage in dressing room mirrors with bulbs around them and trying on people's costumes. It was very exciting to me as a child. My life plan was to get into drama school and become an actor, but it took me 3 years. I applied while I was still at school in my final year, and I didn't get in anywhere, so I took a job in a comedy club, not doing stand-up comedy, because that's my idea of hell, but in the office, and I went traveling. I tend to want to go quite big in my acting, which you just cannot do in front of a camera. It's taken me a while to learn how to pull it back. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.